Welcome, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Journeymen podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
Welcome to Fantasy Football Journeymen Podcast, Episode 16. Here are your hosts, Jason, Ryan, and Bobby, that's right to left, here to talk to you. Take it away, boys.
What's up, y'all? Bringing it to you live here. We got the Fantasy Football Journeyman back at you. Let's get right into it. This is that time of the year where regular season just ended. It's a lot of news coming out that's going to affect the future of franchise. So let's get right into it because I want to get. We'll do the Bears first, I think, so that we can move on from them because we've dragged a little bit.
But there's a few different topics within the Bears category that we could go into. Yep.
So let's start with the Bears though, because Ryan is wearing a nice little hat. I actually got the same one. So
Shout out Billy, Christmas gift from my boss.
So with the Bears, I'm going to throw it over to Aaron first, our producer extraordinaire.
Hello.
What are you thinking? Oh, you also have a Bears hat on this though.
Also a gift from you.
Oh, that's fucking
Hey now.
killing it. So what do you think with the most recent news that they fired the majority of the coaching staff, kept Eberflus, kept Kevin Warren, right?
Yeah,
Majority of offensive.
I'm a little disappointed, especially coming off of the last game of the season. I know that's kind of a false flag for indication of how people are doing. I mean, the season was rough. And rough might even be an understatement. I think though the sad reality is that if the Bears had beaten Green Bay on that last game, more people would have been staying, and I don't think it would have been a good indicator of how the team is doing. It would have been a good indicator of how Green Bay was doing. Realistically, Getsy had to go no matter what, so that's at least something there. I don't understand the confidence in Eberflus. I hope it's not misplaced, but I really don't understand it. The real next question we're going to be looking at is the state of Justin Fields and where that's going to go, and all indications right now are pointing that is going to be a quote-unquote game-time decision leading into draft picks, and that's really scary. That's almost like, hey, you don't have a plan.
Yo, Ryan, what do you think of the Bears with their two first-round draft picks? What do you think they should do? I'm just curious of your fantasy because I think I have an idea of what they should do, where they should move back or take a person.
I just want to say Aaron nailed it. I agree with everything he said.
Yeah.
As most do.
I don't get why you keep Eberflus. I don't know. It's like they won at the end, but they didn't. Who they played, and they didn't seem like that good of opponents. Like it seems like you said, false, whatever, like results.
Indicators. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I would kind of want to see Caleb Williams if it's me. I think Fields is good, but I don't know. He has some flaws. Like he's very athletic, which is good, and he can escape and make plays, but his passing game leaves some things to be desired, like his ability to read the field. I don't know. He has some things to work. I don't know if he's a franchise guy. I'm not saying he's bad, like he could be. I just don't know. I just feel like when you get a chance, when you have the number one pick and there's a prospect of this caliber, you should take him. Probably.
So if I could take it back on that, I would say I agree with you. I don't think he's a franchise player.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad player. Honestly, we see him run a lot, and running, he's the most successful Bears quarterback running that I've seen in a while. He doesn't just get absolutely destroyed. He was able to make a lot of things out of there, and I was really thoroughly impressed with that in the season. The thing is, though, that at the end of the day, I've got to say to myself that him having to run so much isn't his fault. It's not.
I was just going to say, I would add that I don't know a lot about Caleb Williams. I haven't watched tape of him or something. So, maybe he's not as good as people say, but some people are saying he's the best prospect since Peyton Manning or you name him, whatever, a good quarterback. And
a lot of potential.
However, I would say if we do keep Fields, I would be more into keeping Fields if I know we're getting Marvin Harrison Jr., a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. That I can maybe live with, but it depends on the return you get for the draft pick, for the trade. I don't know.
All right. So, Bobby, from an outside perspective, what do you think of Justin Fields? I'm curious of your evaluation of him. What do you think he should be doing? What does he earn per year? Give me a factor.
Okay, I think per year,
when he gets off contract. The way things are going, this isn't an indication of how well I think he is as a performer, but we'll go into that real quick. But $8 to $12 million, I could see that because I think that's just the direction most quarterbacks are getting that are starting in the NFL. Now, do I feel that his work merits that? No. However, I'm not here to shit on Fields in the sense that he is very capable. I think that like I said, the offensive coordinators and the offensive play selection did not utilize his core strengths. And now, is he a Peyton Manning pocket quarterback? No, not at all. But that's okay. I mean, you could work an offense around that. And I really feel that the Bears, year in, year over, you guys never put a ground presence. If you have a strong ground game running the ball well, guess what? A mediocre to like above mediocre quarterback could bring that all the way to a championship. But if you got to establish a better offensive line, or I think you please invest in that. If you're going to get Junior first, get maybe someone for the offensive line. Yeah. But if you give them that time, better run game, I think that they have real playoff potential next year.
Wouldn't that be a first-round draft pick, an offensive lineman?
I mean, I don't think I don't know a whole lot about college football, but I don't think there's a guy that would be
okay. But maybe not.
That,
but you gotta invest a little bit.
I understand
we
that.
do need a center.
We have the 10th, I think, overall pick as of right now. So like, you could use that on a thing, but like there's just a lot of factors. I was just kind of curious of like the outside perspective because like evaluation of Fields, they go kind of all over the place. They're kind of saying a little bit of you, a little bit of.
If
other
I had
people.
to put a ranking on him, like if we're gonna go like grading a paper, I would give him a 78, but he's capable of being an 84.
I was gonna say 84 is more of where I have him at. Just not
78, just based on I think his inability to act as a leader. Now, what I mean by that is you're seeing a defense and you have a play selection that's called in. I don't see him check off plays that often. I don't think that he reads the defense and makes executive decisions where a more seasoned quarterback should do these things.
See, but I think that's a foundational Bears thing that I haven't really seen a lot.
You gotta grab it by the balls sometime.
I don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form, but I feel like, especially the last few years, it doesn't seem like quarterbacks have much autonomy on the field to call the plays. It almost seems like the play calling is you're doing this formation, you're doing this throw, and it's going to this person. There's no real options being presented there.
No, I absolutely agree because there's only a handful of quarterbacks that have that autonomy, and you saw it with the New Orleans game. The coach called for a kneel on the one. Mm-hmm. They ran it in to get this guy a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's like some high school bullshit. I love that.
Oh, well, and I mean, like, that's
hilarious.
the thing is that your leadership is there. I don't think it was a thing for Fields. Certainly wasn't for Trubisky. Here's my question for you, though, Bobby.
Okay.
Is first, let's get a rating on a 1 to Rodgers to put it in terms that are, that would be Green Bay terms for you, sir.
Okay.
1 to Rodgers. Where would you put Justin Fields?
I think Fields, I'd put him on the same, maybe a little bit more of an edge over Love. And that was
going to be my second question is where do you put Love?
So Love, like if I had to put numbers on Love right now, it would be, he has the potential right now, I'd put him more of a 74, 75 potential to hit low 80s, like 80, 81. And that is, let's just say that's centered and focused around the fact that we have a better run game. Not to say we're a better offensive line. We have a little bit more talent there, but you have Aaron Jones. You have 33. So if he could, scrap together 4 yards, on first down, it opens up the playbook so much more if you have 2nd and 4 compared to 2nd and 10.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how you play football, man. Is you get to move the chains,
and he has legs. He could move it if he needs to, which I like. I mean, Rodgers early in his career can use his legs, but same with Love. So
let's do this. Let's kind of Are you still on the Bears? With what you want?
I mean, I could complain for days.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We're gonna go into the firings, aren't we soon?
Yeah, so
I hope so.
I was trying to segue.
Yeah, I just have 2 final points in there.
Right,
one is I really hope that we get Shane Falco. I think that really bring the team together.
Miles and miles of heart.
I'd actually get a jersey if you guys got it.
Maybe that's a thing.
They were
Shane
there
Falco
for a while. But.
Shane Falco jerseys.
Okay,
all around.
so numero dos.
I forgot. Let's move on.
Yeah. I don't think he was number 2 in the movie.
No, I said I had 2 points.
Oh,
and he said, "What's your second point?"
I was I don't know his jersey.
He's number 16.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
16. No.
Available
All right.
at a Foot Locker near you.
Hot take.
So-
I like the white jersey more than the
So
red
yeah,
one.
no, let's get into
away
the
jerseys.
coaches, dude, that we saw move
Got fired.
already. Eight coaches. Big one, Belichick.
Yep. Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, number 2. Who else?
Mike.
Arthur Smith in Atlanta.
Knew that one was coming.
Yeah, I mean,
Who else?
Mike.
Well, we already had earlier in the year the Raiders and Chargers fire their coaches. If we're counting that or not, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think they count him as head coaching vacancies.
Because they haven't named Antonio Pierce the coach yet, or the other
I
guy.
believe both of those positions were posted on Indeed the following day.
I have a comment a little bit about Bill Belichick and
Yeah.
Pete Carroll. You know, now that they've received the axe, my buddy's like, why didn't Chicago even consider him? Or Harbaugh from Michigan. Okay, so 3 items right there. I believe both Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, they're done coaching. I don't see them wanting to coach or continue to coach in the NFL. And then Harbaugh, he just won a championship. I don't think that any team would be willing to pay him probably the exorbitant amount of money to come back and coach in the NFL. So when all you Bear fans are bitching and complaining like, oh, why didn't we consider?
Who the fuck are you? Are you talking about? The
I'm talking about
general
some of my
population?
friends that are
Okay.
no, but
I want
Maybe call him out right
I
here.
want
'cause
Harbaugh.
I don't want to be associated
okay, no, but
with.
okay, you guys can't afford Harbaugh, and then for Belichick and Pete Carroll, no offense, 10 years from now, I'm thinking we're going to see their obituary. I'm not. They're older guys.
The Bears can afford it. They're like one of the oldest.
Whatever. They can afford what? Whether the Cleveland just keep stacking with bullshit picks.
I mean, dude, you have to understand, man, that Belichick, he can go to any team that he wants.
Why
He
would
can also
though?
retire. That's the luxury
I
that
mean-
he has because he's won so many championships.
Earlier today, I had somebody correct
I
me
think
because
Pete
I was
Carroll's like fucking 78. Or
I was talking about Belichick, and I was like, oh, they fired him. I was corrected. It's like, no, his contract just ended and he's done. And I get it because performance-wise, yeah, it was time. But, I mean, there's a couple things to take from that. First off, you were talking about a 24-year career
right. He was part of
in
a
football.
bunch of different teams.
This is a place, a realm where 2 years is excessive for most coaches as far as time. 24 years is exceptional. I mean, that is a pension type career for anybody else. The second thing is that all the people you've listed of like, hey, why don't we get them? Why don't we get them? Why don't we get them? None of them, I don't think necessarily need or want money at this point. It's a matter of getting exactly what they want in an organization. That's autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I don't think they're gonna get
that's
it.
a
Fair
good-
point.
That's a good add-on.
And
to
I think
yeah.
realistically, that's not going to happen in the Bears
No,
franchise. I don't think it's a
definitely
matter of money with the Bears. Honestly, I mean, if they wanted to crack open the piggy bank, they could. They've got it.
You're
And
right,
they
that's-
choose not to.
No,
So it's
I
not a
appreciate
matter.
that. That's a good add-on.
Not
to
a
it.
matter of money. It's a matter of I don't want to go to a place where somebody's going to tell me what to do.
It's a matter of the Bears are morons.
Well, the executive team of just like again some of those moves, but like again we could talk about the Bears for 17 hours. But no,
Moving
you brought up Carroll. I think is definitely taking a step back. Family, so he was moving into an advisory role. Usually that means that like you can still have a salary and health insurance and basically do nothing. But Belichick, I could see him again retiring. Going to another team. I agree with Aaron. Definitely not the Bears. No coach really, I think, wants to come here. That's why we're getting younger and younger coaches. I mean, Eberflus isn't super young, but compared to Belichick, and some of these other coaches, he's like 10 years older.
Yeah.
Saban
Saban also retired. Sorry, that's a college.
Saban,
sorry.
right.
Yeah.
So with Saban retiring, I mean,
Bama, roll tide.
I mean, that's a crazy retirement in the same like day. It was like 12 hours apart or whatever, or 2 days.
I get it though. I honestly get it. I mean, he's had so many titles. I mean, Bama is, I think, renowned in the SEC. Being one of the top. Like it's Georgia and Bama.
Yeah,
LSU.
same 12 team.
Yeah.
Illinois State University is up there.
Oh yeah, we're definitely on the
Are we
pinnacle
in the
for football.
in the FCS? I don't even
Dude,
know.
I think we could be walk-ons at this point. We're not that.
Kicker.
I just want to say,
Water boy.
random story. I met Rashard Mendenhall at ISU football
Yeah, you were
game.
telling me about this.
He had a broken shoulder because Ray Lewis had hurt him the week before, and I had mentioned a comment about it. I probably shouldn't have.
He went to the same high school my dad went to.
Wait, you told Rashard
Well, I was like,
Mendenhall?
oh man, that looks bad. He looked like he got you pretty good, or something. Some just dumb shit.
Kind of a dick move. I
Hey,
like
man, you
it.
look like you got fucked up.
Wait, is Garrett Wolf the one from ISU?
NIU.
Oh,
NIU.
NIU. I met
think
him when I was at
Aaron
the
went
Bears
there
game with Joe.
James Robinson
I
went
did.
to ISU.
So I met Garrett Wolf, NIU graduate for NIU fans
he
out
was
there. I met
good.
him when we were with Joe and we saw Carolina that game for right around Labor Day, I think. Yeah.
Also saw Chase Daniel at Mizzou at Chipotle the day after
What a
the game.
fun little meetup at Chipotle. What did he order? Did he get a burrito bowl?
He
or
cut the entire line like a dick.
Oh,
I mean,
I guess he earned it.
why wouldn't you?
big dick on
No,
campus.
he was.
Just swinging that thing.
Give me my goddamn Chipotle. All right, so Saban, he's gone. I don't really have I'm really indifferent about it. Like at the end of the day, because I'm like college football, like you said, same 12 kind of teams or whatever that are really like they swap them out. Okay, you're in the championship
Georgia,
now, or whatever.
Ohio State,
The-
LSU.
The Harbaugh thing, I do want to just kind
Bama.
of, bring that up, though. Is like, I don't think you would leave a college coaching job after you won at Michigan.
At Michigan, who hasn't won in, I think, 20-plus years.
I
and that was
think
such a
he's staying there for like
dominant win.
7-8 years.
I would argue.
Oh, here we go. He
He's-
would argue.
He's a competitive guy.
Yeah.
He didn't get that Super Bowl with the Niners. He lost. He used to play for the Bears. They drafted him. He's got ties here. If you leave for any team, it would probably be the Bears.
Okay, so you're saying the handoff is there if,
I'm just saying maybe just make a call. What's it going to take?
It's greased up, ready to go.
right.
I mean, Ryan, I feel like we're really much on the same level on a lot of the opinions.
Yeah.
And I have to just say very much to you, I think it's a pipe dream.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just saying,
it's
like,
100% a pipe dream.
in a perfect world, like I can see it happening.
In a perfect
It's kind of, dude, what I look
I
at
mean,
that as is like
voiceover.
fantasy logic. If you're like, if it only goes here and here.
Well,
and
if the
here.
Bears weren't idiots.
Well, the other part of it too isn't like
that's the problem.
You pop this quote into my mind a little earlier, and it's from Zombieland.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there and like, I could take the Browns to the Super Bowl as the world is destroyed. That's kind of that Bears fan mentality.
can take them.
It's like, I can take the Bears to the Super Bowl. It's like,
I'm glad we
They're
actually
all
segued
dead.
to that. I'm glad, the Browns to the Super Bowl. We actually, so we have playoffs coming up. That's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the Journeymen and I put together our brackets. We all landed on the same championship winner, but I want to go through it. We
All right, let's
we
just
wrote
go
them out real quick,
Game by game.
game by game.
You already know it?
day by day.
You guys want to start with the Houston-Cleveland game?
Sure.
All right, I got Cleveland.
I took Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Their defense is really good. Joe Flacco's on a heater, and it's playoff Joe. I mean, I could see it.
All right, now next moving to Kansas City, Miami. I got KC.
KC
Took
all day.
KC because
All day.
Miami's banged up, and KC's home, and it's gonna be 10 degrees.
I think we all are aligned for the AFC. All right, last one, Buffalo, Pitt.
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
For sure. Watt's going to be out for Pittsburgh. if
And they
you guys-
got Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
Yeah, so right out of the gate. So now you're at your next bracket. My divisional bracket is Baltimore, Cleveland. I think it is for everyone, right?
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have Cleveland winning.
I have Baltimore.
Okay, that's a shocker for Baltimore.
Yeah, it would be.
That's an interesting one. That's where you divert.
That'd be
little
a
bit.
crazy game though. Flacco coming back to Baltimore. That'd be a sick game.
I-
That's what I'm thinking, man.
I mean, it's there for the story.
I'm taking Baltimore.
Okay.
Okay. And then KC, Buffalo. I got Buffalo moving.
Buffalo.
I took KC. I don't know. Just something about KC in the playoffs, man. They got that juju.
And then for your conference championship, I got Cleveland taking out Buffalo. Cleveland going to the Super Bowl.
I got whoa.
Whoa.
I got Baltimore over KC. That Baltimore going to the Super Bowl.
This guy's got Cleveland in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
I
That
went
is
nuts with it, but
nuts.
hey, I like Flacco.
Okay.
The guy's a vet.
I want
Let's
Flacco.
go.
All right, I put Buffalo over Baltimore into the
Buffalo
Super
over
Bowl.
Baltimore. Okay, an aristocrat over
Buffalo finally breaks the curse or whatever.
I think it's their last year.
there. It,
so
you've
they
been
have to
saying
do
that
it.
for the
No, no, no,
past
no,
couple
no, no,
weeks.
no,
Like
no, no,
this
no,
has
no,
got
no,
to
no,
be.
no, no, no,
What do you
no,
mean?
No, no. I've said it the last 2 years because they had a 3-year window. I will
Okay.
be quoted on that.
That's
on
fine.
My,
I would agree with that.
on my
assessment. Okay.
tombstone.
All right,
I
so-
told you Buffalo would win.
All right,
it.
we're flipping over to the NFC now. We
All right,
got
do it.
Tampa, Philly, which Tampa limping into the fucking playoffs. I got Philly winning that contest.
Philly also limping in, but I took Philly.
I wouldn't consider Philly as
But
big of a
honestly,
limp in compared to Tampa Bay and the NFC South.
I could see Tampa winning though.
All right, we got Detroit, Rams. I got the Rams because Detroit's going to be Detroit.
Yeah, I think the Rams Stafford coming back to Detroit taking one.
I got Rams. I just want a high-scoring game.
Okay. And now we got Dallas, Green Bay. I got my Green Bay taking out them boys, first round playoff.
Yeah, I got Dallas.
Dallas.
All right, so now in our next one, we have San Fran. In my situation, San Fran against Green Bay. San Fran's they have our number. San Fran.
Okay, mine is San Fran and the Rams. I got San Fran.
Yeah, I have Rams, San Fran going.
And now we got, in mine, I got Philly, Rams, and I have the Rams taking out Philly.
Philly, Dallas. I got Dallas moving on.
Sames.
And then San Fran, Rams. I got San Fran moving on and San Fran beating Cleveland in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, San Fran, Dallas. San Fran moving on. San Fran winning over Baltimore.
San Fran winning over Buffalo. What's your
total points? I got
tiebreaker?
46. I know you guys think it's going to be more of a shootout.
62.
60. Ooh, nice. I'll give you one for that.
So we all landed on the same championship team, but I think we all have some divergence there. So we'll see how we do.
Hell yeah.
No, this is what I'm going to do. I've been talking about it on a couple different episodes, but I'm going to go through at the end of the Super Bowl. Because we didn't do picks every single year, but I'm sure we made at least 60, 70. So I'm interested
You're
to
giving
see.
us a lot of credit. I think
No, 60, 70 total picks. I'm sure we were all dog shit. For sure. Yeah.
I thought you was like percent win. I'm like,
No, but yeah, dude, you did put in the little notes here that I do want to just touch on,
sure.
2 minutes here.
Hot take.
You were saying earlier about Michael Penix.
Penix Jr.,
Penix.
Washington quarterback.
What about him?
He was saying about his status in the NFL. What you think he could do?
Having watched the championship game, I don't feel he's going to do well in the NFL.
No, yeah.
Two reasons behind that is, I think that his
release
form
is horrible.
Form and release is going to be detrimental to him, especially on a more competitive level.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I don't see him having very good pocket presence. He's not moving around to make available different things. And in the NFL, you get 2 seconds most, maybe 2.5, unless you have a good offensive line to get that ball out. So
yeah, that's the worst. Is that on the biggest stage, Michigan's defensive line was just in his face all day.
Well, I was working. I didn't catch much of the game. I saw a little bit of it, but I did see some Michael Penix Jr. throws, and they looked like dog shit.
So that's why I was very nervous for any team, or if he goes I'm going to be,
His release reminded me of Tebow or something.
It's down here. It's down at his hip, and I'm like, dude, and he's not that tall of a guy. He's an average height, quarterback. So I'm like, you can't pull that.
It didn't seem like he had much of a big arm like Mahomes or something, where you can get away with that kind of shit sometimes.
Okay, but Mahomes, he has, I think, God tier in terms of pocket presence.
He can get away with it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he could get away with all that sidearm stuff, but he sees the pocket and he's able to. I've never seen a quarterback weave himself out of problems.
He can throw a football 70 miles an hour.
Exactly, and and he played baseball, so on the side, just boom,
he can
30
bob.
yards downfield to Kelsey on a whip, boom, done.
Yeah, he can definitely bob and weave there. So I just want to throw this in here.
Go.
So Bedard got his face crunched up.
Yeah, right after he got to the All-Star game.
And he got selected. So, you were putting in there, cheap shot or not. I don't think so. I looked at it, and it was just a regular hockey play. It happened. But I'm just bummed, man, because it kind of ruins doesn't ruin, but, it just makes it that much harder for the Hawks to have, a decent season when you're like, oh, great, our, this kid who's supposed to be our savior is
I just hope it doesn't freak him out like the plot of.
You're right. I don't want him to get
Goon. Remember you guys seen Goon?
I've seen Goon with Sean William Scott.
Yeah, that one guy is afraid because he took a big hit.
I don't see that happening with him, but it is unfortunate because he's a very young talent. But
I don't know. I'm sure he'll be fine. But
but 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, that's a rough patch of being out of commission.
I mean, that puts him out from anywhere from
and not
the
to say
end
the
of,
Hawks are going anywhere this year.
No, but let's call it like it is. The Hawks, at least for this current season,
right?
They had the most potential. They had Bedard. They were going into it hey,
we had a chance. You're going into
it's just a chance of doing well, maybe making the playoffs. I didn't expect it out of the Cubs, Bulls.
I didn't
Bears,
expect the Cubs to do
White
as well
Sox.
as they did last season.
I mean, it's just every other team was just oh my god, can anybody
I expected
do?
the White Sox to suck.
I mean, it's just good to see the number one pick be the number one pick and play, well.
But it wasn't a dirty shot. And when I first read the article, it was the New Jersey Devils, so I immediately thought dirty play just because, yeah.
Anywho,
The
clean shot.
Devils.
No, but clean shot. Oh, good reference. Clean shot that,
What?
from Seinfeld.
The devil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But no, it was a clean shot. He was bringing it up ice. He got rid of it and just took a hit. And, it happened to be that the guy's, shoulder connected right with his face.
Oh yeah, I mean he's been known to. I was reading online to try and split the D like that, and
You get a
kind
little
of what you
aggressive.
get when that happens.
You gamble.
Yeah,
You gamble.
Gamble.
It just sucks.
Yeah, it's like I said. I just want to make a
Yeah.
quick little mention of that because, like, again, when we unfortunately are, out of the football season in a month or so, obviously we got to fill some time.
The
but,
journeymen will be on different chapters.
we I think that's maybe something that we'll kick around though is like just broadening it to you can't talk about football for 12 months. It becomes
We're expanding the format.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. The journeymen will be in different styles, different takes, different topics.
right. So, in that same vein, let's do the movie review that we all prepared
diving in.
for.
Dive on in.
The
Fucking Snatch.
the movie Snatch. That was Guy Ritchie directed it. It was 2000, I believe.
2001 or
2000.
2000,
Okay,
but
2000.
Guy Ritchie does a bunch of other ones, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which is what we might have done. That was one of my options. But he's also got the I know Sherlock Holmes.
The Gentleman.
That was dope. The Gentleman was a newer one that came out. The Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal just came out last year.
Oh, that was him, huh?
Wrath of Man. I mean, so there's a lot of solid movies I think in there, but this is the one thing that I do want to jump into first. Is just I want to get just your guys' kind of like, I guess, like opinion of Guy Ritchie films. Like, are you a fan of them? Can you take like indifferent? I don't really care.
I guess I don't have too much knowledge base on you listed off a few of them, and I'm aware of them. It wasn't anything that I've seen multiple times.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen many of his movies. I saw The Gentleman in theaters when it came out in 2019. I liked that. I thought that was a pretty good movie. But as far as anything else goes, this is kind of one of my. I don't know if I've seen anything else of his off the top of my head that you mentioned besides.
Okay.
The Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels
I
that
haven't
has
seen
the
that.
exact same kind of feel.
Right.
About this movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and we'll go into it.
Yeah, it was good. I really liked it.
Yeah, lead the convo
Okay.
because it was a great movie.
So let's start out with the. I mean, I feel like you don't really need to give a synopsis of the movie, right? It's been out for 23
Well,
years.
you can give a brief.
you can give him a quick.
What's it about?
A quick
yeah,
summary.
if you were pitching the movie to
or
somebody,
a producer could give him the quick
Yeah,
summary.
let's go to Aaron though,
No.
because we want to. No. What is your Snatch familiarity? You've seen it, obviously.
Guy Ritchie or
Guy
something.
Ritchie. Have you seen a lot of his movies, or?
I feel like I watched the wrong movie. I was really surprised to find it on Pornhub.
I was gonna say.
There and there
This was
and
available on that.
I was thinking that earlier too. That's
Was that you guys Google and that
I-
came up there?
I was really waiting
Yeah, I
for you
Googled
to maybe start a little bit farther. I was waiting for the right point to
Oh,
make
I
that
get
joke.
it.
And you're
Sorry,
like,
I did not connect the dots.
and you're
I'm
like,
makes
let's go to
sense.
Aaron. It's like, fuck.
that was fucking good.
Wow, Bobby. Do.
Um,
I couldn't even the breadcrumb.
This is
God.
a pretty interesting movie. There is a style of movie I feel like we don't really celebrate that much in America. With a quick pace,
Fast transition.
verbose attack at things.
good word.
There's a couple movies that come to mind that I've watched like this. Layer Cake.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that.
The last, I think, is it The Last Gangster? I
Can't
I
recall.
might have screwed that up, the name of the movie, but a long time ago, watched that movie. But there's just it's a different way of going. It's always funny for me watching British television because sometimes it takes a little while to get the dialect. And by dialect, I mean people speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
And by people speaking English, I mean people speaking English and making more intelligent jokes that I'm used to. So kind of...
Does anybody here speak fucking English?
I
thought
really-
you invented it.
I really, really like this movie. I first saw it a lot of years ago. In fact, I bought a nice DVD box set of it that came with some cards and some poker chips.
Oh, cool.
That's a fun little promotional package.
Oh, it was great. I saw that one at the store. I'm like, I got to get that. I've
Well,
watched
you
this
and I are
movie.
card players. We know our way around.
We got
a
the
deck
card
of
game
cards.
coming up. I don't know. I'm going to get this out before they see it. Maybe they'll see. Steve Flans, I'm coming to your house and I'm taking your money.
And I'll be
Nice.
taking your money.
No, I'm
Nice.
probably going to lose a lot, so good luck. See you there.
I played with him.
So, no, I mean, like, you've seen the other variations. You like the style. I also do want to add in, though, that, like, the British do a very good job of, like, action, then comedy. Then action,
It's-
comedy, like, layering it in so
A
it's
little
not...
suspense.
It's
sure.
not only that, but like the prose that happens in between makes me feel very smart.
Okay.
You know,
I totally get that. So, what was your guys? I mean, do you have like a favorite scene of the movie? Ryan, I'll give you
I know my favorite.
a little
scene.
bit of a synopsis,
Sure.
not for you specifically, but
for our
Oh, come on.
for
know.
our
For the
viewer,
10,000
our
fans.
singular viewer.
I just got one point on is that it's been out for 23 years.
Yeah,
Has
no,
it really?
spoiler alert, but here it goes.
has
yeah.
it really?
24
24.
yeah.
I've
So-
been watching Jason Statham for 24 years.
Yeah. So
Shit.
what it is
Same
that
character and everything.
Jason Statham and Stephen Graham are two boxer promoters.
Yeah.
They make a deal with a gangster bricktop for a fight. Tommy takes the boxing talent, gets him knocked out. They got to use a pikey, a specific type of Englishman, gypsy, and then from there, the guy doesn't really listen to it. The gypsy is Mickey, Brad Pitt.
Bare knuckle
fucking
boxer.
great.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
one of his greatest roles, but we'll
Yeah.
get into that in just a second though. But like again, just chaos ensues. The ending of the movie though, obviously, this is where
What a
I'm-
fun ending.
This is
I
where
really
I'm weird
enjoyed
with it because I'm like, we're definitely going to discuss it, but like I don't want to ruin it just yet.
Yeah, no,
But, like,
let's wait on it.
The ending
Let's
is
sit on
wild.
it. Let's
so
sit on it.
so Ryan, what was your like kind of like favorite scene? What was something that stuck out with you?
I just love when you meet Brad Pitt for the first time and he starts talking and it's like, is he trying to be Irish or like, it's like a bad Irish accent. It was with also mixed in like some, I don't know, like British or I don't know what.
Dag.
Yeah, it's fucking great though. Brad Pitt, I just want to say Brad Pitt is always a great character actor. Like I think he likes those roles the most when he can just kind of just be somebody else. You know, he's a good looking dude, but he should be he's like a really good character actor when he wants
Yeah.
to be, when he gets the chance.
Was this pre-Fight Club?
No, it's just in between Fight Club and Ocean's 11.
Okay.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I was gonna say it
2000.
kind of had that same
Yeah.
vibe a little
So
bit. With
yeah,
his
which
character.
actually I had I was gonna say just a quick comment. The score they used kind of reminded me a little bit of Ocean's 11.
Oh, dude.
The in between the little
Yeah.
the
So
sounds.
yeah, I was actually.
Yeah.
This is weirdly enough. I was going to bring that up. Is that they do use a bass, and I love that bass line that comes through when like something like it's like kind of like a little bit like quirkier is happening. But when the fast paced action comes on, I always am kind of thinking of like this is very similar Ocean's 11. I'm sure he used the same,
Kind of had that feel a little bit mixed in with like some Tarantino with some of the dialogue.
Well, and I think what you're hitting on is a very classic movie setup that really happened in the 70s of having this continual unique soundtrack that's going on in the background that's kind of pushing the action and pushing whatever's happening on screen. We don't really get that so much anymore.
No, we really don't.
A lot of
You're
the,
right.
the-
That
a lot
is
of the
different
music that's
flavor.
written there, it's all filler in between big song
it
names.
helps transition between like basically I say like three different kind of stories going on
Yeah.
simultaneously, and
At
we
least
go
that
we go
three,
back and
yeah.
forth through the different groups, and it kind of helps the transition with that.
But at least it's linear. I like the
what
fact.
what was your scene though?
My favorite scene is the hallway scene where you have the blade in there. You have
Boris.
Saul and
Tyrone.
Tyrone, and then
Bullet
Vinny?
Tommy or
Bullet
Tony Bulletooth Tony. And that was just incredible. You have a Desert Eagle, a guy who's rocking probably an AK, and some of these prop guns. Essentially, it was just a fun
replicas.
replicas. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. No, that is one of the cinematic though. I do like that scene though of just like again, as you're kind of saying, it's weird is that it does kind of feel even in that scene kind of broken down into three different kind of parts. Weirdly, enough.
It
It's
all
like,
comes together, like
going
the,
out here in the
Yeah,
solo.
like-
Yeah.
the webs weaving together
It's like
finally,
kind-
and yeah, go ahead.
Well, that was that and the dialects. That kind of remind me of like Tarantino-ish kind of a feel where it's
Yes.
like three different things are blending and they're all going to go together. Kind of like also like not this apple oranges, but like a Seinfeld episode where it's like they have different stories, and by the end of it, everything makes sense and everything.
You got to give Cousin
aligns.
Avi some balls where he basically has a gun pointed at his face. He's like, yeah, pull the trigger. Like, the character that he plays, I love it. The stones on that. Dude. The stones on it.
I love Dennis Farina.
Dennis Farina
Anytime
is
he's in
obviously,
anything, he's so funny.
I mean, he steals a show in that. And
Absolutely. I mean,
Any movie that he's in, I always
Bulltooth Tony,
Oh.
what's the actor's name? I really enjoy
Vinny
it.
Jones.
Vinny Jones.
He crushed it, and I really enjoy watching any of the films he's in. I really
love him
enjoy
in Eurotrip.
Yep.
With Dennis Farina, when there's so many little things in that movie, but it's when he's talking to his cousin and he's got the phone and he puts the yarmulke on while he's talking to him. This movie just in general for me is a movie that I kind of see a little bit of everything in everyday life. From playing video games and seeing a dog, I think the usual call out that I have is Dag. Dag. Playing zombies a lot. Dag. To going to go get my license plate renewed and going to the check cashing place, I'm like, all bets are off, and getting locked in the door. It's just so much stuff is in there.
I was gonna say that was my other favorite scene when they were doing the robbery and the doors closed, and then they're like they're stuck in the fucking stuck in the fucking thing, and the guy just opens the door. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh no, this is a betting parlor. Sorry. Guys.
Yeah.
Tyrone. So as we're quoting a lot, let's just talk about it because I got a couple here.
We're all over it. Go ahead.
That these were no, just start throwing them out.
Go ahead.
I had Dennis Farina, 1330 in, where he's talking about London. He's like London, London. He's like, yeah, London. Fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
to that same point, I had that great one. We got beaches here. Yeah, who the fuck wants to see them? I laughed my ass
Dude,
off.
that's what the beauty of Dennis Farina, man. Like every time he's speaking, I'm just like,
When he
oh
was
my
like,
god.
He's like, yeah, we'll do that, and then find my friend a nice fucking Jewish doctor. He's fucking bleeding.
Dude, I love it. He walks up to was it oh goddamn, I'm blanking on the name. Who's his cousin?
Frankie Four Fingers.
No,
the other guy. No,
That was his cousin, though.
What's his name? No, some Ed or whatever was it?
Goddamn, why am I blanking on it right now?
The sing guy, whatever, dude. No.
Well, while you research that, I'll throw out the Bulletooth Tony. You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
Whatever.
Doug the Head.
Doug the Head.
Doug the Head, yeah.
He walks up to Doug the Head and he goes, "Shut up and sit down, you big bald prick."
Also, when he goes back to the airport, they're like, anything to declare? Yeah, I don't go to fucking
Fucking
England.
Yeah, I had that one
Yeah.
down too.
Could we all agree that the opening scene was just something unreal, like something that just I didn't expect it to run that way?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, they're doing like a fucking like rob, like a heist.
Yeah.
And then I thought there was gonna be more, and then there wasn't.
I mean,
Right,
the whole opening to that, the first time watching it, it was kind of a turnoff from the movie, and after watching the whole movie, it's my favorite part.
I like
Okay,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get to exactly.
You didn't like
what
my
you were-
wording there, Bobby? You made a face.
No, it just like I said, you brought it full circle because I was like, I really enjoyed the opening scene right out of the gate. Because I haven't seen this movie in a long time because I think it set the stage for kind of the fast-paced transitions that we were going to see moving forward in the film. So it was a way of maybe setting the stage for me.
Yeah.
I got you. I wanted to just throw out one more quote here before
Sure.
we switch up gears here.
Who the fuck cares?
Is
It's all a cousin Avi. He fucking crushes it.
oh, and he said, "Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck." Whatever. One, when Jason Statham goes, "We all proper fucked."
Yeah.
That's great.
The rabbit and the dog.
And then the other one was, I thought you said he was the getaway driver. What the fuck can he get away from?
He can barely get out of the fucking car. Tyrone.
that
I
big
love those scenes
motherfucker.
with those three guys. Those scenes are one of my favorites. They were all together. They're hilarious.
And that's one of my other favorite things from this movie is that so many of the people cast in that movie, I don't think anyone was really necessarily that big at the time.
No, I like.
and they've
I
all
like
kind of
that.
exploded. I mean,
I was gonna say it's really odd to see Jason Statham in a movie where he's not kicking ass or fighting
he-
anybody. He's
he
like
had a very
he's the
low-key role.
normal character, like just very
and he's
calm.
very quippy too.
Yeah.
I mean, his interactions with Stephen Graham through the whole thing with Tommy.
Tommy, yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's
it's
so
You
let's
gotta-
talk
you gotta
about the
protect us
cast
from
Yep.
the Germans.
Yeah, so let's
The
definitely talk
Germans.
about the cast though, just because again, you guys kind of mentioned this of like, there's a lot of people in this movie that are
Oh my God.
phenomenal actors,
a lot of
and
characters.
so I do want to throw out like, who was the guy that like, actor of any sort like that you would think is needed more in the movie,
Okay.
and I think we all kind of agree on this
Yes.
one, but I'm also going to throw out another name, but I want to see who's the consensus. Benicio del Toro, right?
Yes,
you
Frankie
mean-
Four
you
Fingers.
mean
I
who-
wish I could see more of him
who-
because his on-screen presence was all of like 3 minutes tops.
So you're saying like what's like the nip like our thing we could change like who we want in the movie more?
Which cast member specifically do you want to see in the movie more? I would have said Benicio del Toro because he got cut out pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
did.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I was gonna say the same thing.
I'd actually disagree with that because I think he needed to go the way he did to push the
Okay,
story
but I
forward.
guess how would you answer that question then? Who would you like to see more of? Or
So it's a weird balance because my initial thought would be, boy, I want to see more of Dennis Farina.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the reason why he's so good in there is because he gets in and gets out.
Mm-hmm.
He makes his couple quips and then he's done. Honestly, it's Bullet Tooth Tony.
love Bullet Tooth Tony.
Yeah, he doesn't. He only comes in like midway through, and then
And
He was a
and
consultant. They brought him in to find someone. So I love that. I
His
Good
entire
answer.
his entire presence. He rocks that 3-piece suit too.
loved it. Yep.
I
And he
mean-
has a Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
Give me that gun. Someone sponsor me that's a gun manufacturer. I will go out to
Shout
the
out.
field. Yeah. Remington.
I was saying, how about that?
Sig Sauer.
How about that scene where they're all driving and they're following him, and then
The milk
they
thing?
hit the guy because they were following him
Yeah,
or whatever.
Boris.
Yeah,
Boris is in the
Dude, that was
The
that
whole
was
thing.
one
The
of
whole
my.
thing leading up to him getting hit, though, he's got the bag over his head. His hands are tied, and he's looking back and forth, and then
Yeah.
just boom. Sorry,
I love
Jason.
the
Go
fucking.
ahead.
I love the fucking gag of Tyrone being the getaway driver, and he's the worst driver in the whole fucking movie the whole time. It's
Go ahead, dude.
hilarious.
No, but that scene though was I would have to imagine the first time I've seen a scene like that in a movie though, that like again 3 different timelines happening though, and they show just
It's
like
converging. yeah.
basically right as they're coming to a head. And the Boris, you're absolutely right though. The Boris like looking around and he gets fucking wrecked.
It's such physical
With the
comedy
bag
at
still
that
on
point,
his head
though.
and his
Oh my
hands
God.
cuffed behind
And then
it.
he came back. I thought he was dead, and he came back for the hallway
Well,
scene.
that was the whole
Bullet
thing. Is
blade.
he's unkillable? That was
Yeah.
like one of those tenants in there. It's like you could shoot him all these times. And
Yeah,
he's-
Well, wasn't that more of the storyline of Bullet Tooth
It was
Tony,
supposed
though?
to. Yeah, they said that we got shot 6 times, and then
Yeah,
it was
He
also
ended
it
up
was also for
kataning
Boris
that
though. I
one
think
dude.
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Alright, sorry,
Bullet Tooth Tony took 6, and then Boris took like 12 of the Desert
Yeah.
Eagles in the hall. He's still
Yeah.
shouting.
Oh, that
Fuck
was funny.
you.
I think that I love that comedic. He's like, "Oh, you're still around." He just he keeps unloading into him.
Yeah.
That's a 50 cal. That's you lose limbs.
Did you agree with Benicio del Toro?
Yes, agreed. Frankie
Okay.
Frankie Four Fingers, his character. I would love to have seen him more, but I could understand what you said about him in the way that he needed to go quickly in order for the
It's
story to progress the way it did.
it's not the actor in that point. It's
I know,
the
but I like
character.
Benicio del Toro, so,
But I the whole beginning though. I mean, he just knocked it out of the park with that.
Yeah, the robbery scene in
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable that
You know what? The 2 daughters.
was
the
it
twins.
Alex and Susie?
Yeah, throw them on the
They're
list.
kind of hot. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'd
So.
like to have seen them a little bit more, but now that they're 24 years older since this filmed, probably they're filing for AARP at this point. So
So the cast, like we said, who we liked or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I gotta mention like Bricktop as a villain.
yes, thank
I mean,
you, someone.
he's pretty
He
much
crushes it.
I kept thinking that you were saying bricked up. I was like, what?
Bricked
What
up,
are they
no,
calling you?
bricked up.
What was his name? I know.
Alan
it's in my
Ford.
notes. Alan
There's
Ford.
a
Thank
quote
you. Alan Ford just. Go
There's
ahead,
a
sorry.
quote we didn't talk about. Like, do you know how long it takes the average pig to consume a human being?
Oh, dude,
Loved
it's
that
chilling.
dialogue where he goes into that pawn shop where Frankie Four Fingers is already shot. Tyrone's basically in a bag waiting outside, and he explains to him very calmly, which like adds to his character. Like, hey, if you need to get rid of a body, being a pig farm owner, you got to be worried about those guys.
The whole capstone is like, which gives us the saying, greedy as a pig.
Dude, so I think that's also though a kind of like a staple though of Guy Ritchie's films is that you do see the villains kind of have these like monologues of like it chilling stuff. I know it happened in The Gentleman, I think.
Yeah, he had some good lines though. I like the one he had about the guy when he was like kissing his ass. He's like, "Stop licking my asshole. Are you a dog or whatever?"
Yeah. But dude, and then right after that he goes, cut them both.
Yeah, and then the two boxers look at him. He's like, "What the fuck you looking at?"
Yeah. Yeah, Bricktop.
He gets rid of those two guys early in the film, but the reality is what he described in that scene is accurate. That is factual.
Oh yeah.
So I guess for all of you murderers out there that want to try to get rid of a body,
Oh yeah,
Razorbacks and
he
pigs.
says always be wary of pig farmers.
Yeah, because they'll eat everything. They really will.
Well, do you have a picky nits section coming up or anything? I just wanted to mention a quick thing.
What was your definition of picking nits?
Just like something like, like oh, maybe they should have done it a different way, or why didn't they do it this
I like
way?
that.
I can honestly say no.
Well, I was just gonna say picking it
Go
like
ahead.
instead of having Brad Pitt throw the fight, why don't you just fucking bet on him? The guy knocks everybody out in one punch. Why did he have to make him take a dive? Why couldn't you just?
Because that was the whole point of fixing the fight.
Well, I know, but the first time though, he could have done it. I think.
This
Yeah.
is. I think
Because no one knows he's just a skinny guy, like who would think that this little dude? He probably get a lot of money.
Right.
That
Right.
first-
I got one. If
at least the first fight.
I'm just throwing out like.
I know there's not a movie.
I
then.
think that would have gotten him killed if he's supposed to rig the fight and the guy's supposed to go down. Because Gorgeous George was supposed to go down. That was the whole beginning of it.
Right.
No, I think that was incorrect.
From the beginning, Gorgeous George.
No, or the opponent was supposed to go down. Someone was going down in the fourth.
Not in the very first fight. With
was that
Gorgeous
was that
George.
implied, or did he just change it because he got a new fighter?
He
Oh, you know
changed
what?
it-
Yeah, you're right. You're
he
right. You're
changed
right.
it when
He used it as pressure to
Mickey-
make him take the dive, and he didn't like
Right.
it. Yeah.
Well, also, I'm sure he was like, "Oh, well, we're using him, like whoever, stranger,
Some
insert
random,
name," and
yeah.
Bricktop goes, "All right, well, he's going down in the
Like
fourth."
maybe
Right.
fucking Tommy should have went up to Bricktop and been like, "Yo, this guy knocked him out in one punch. No one's gonna expect it. Maybe bet on him."
Well, dude, if
the
Tommy
first
said
fight.
if Tommy said anything to him, he's like, "Yeah, take your little girlfriend." Like he just always demeaning Tommy. I like Stephen Graham though. Like this is a weird, like little quick turn divergent thing. It's
Early
like,
role for him.
dude. There's like 3 guys that I looked at that was like, "Oh, these guys are this movie." But everything that I liked them in, Ewan Bremner, who was Mullet, the guy that Vinny took off of, put his head in the car and they was driving down the street.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I recognize that guy. What's he from?
He's from
He's
a
been in a
bunch
few
of
films,
like a
yeah.
bunch of different
I've
stuff.
seen
but
that dude.
He's kind of one
He's
of
not
those
a
guys.
primary. He's
Right.
ancillary
And then
character
Jason Fleming,
Yes.
who's in he was in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yep.
He's in a bunch of other stuff though, British television. But like these are like a couple like again young roles. Stephen Graham's in a ton of
He
shit.
would
now.
go from that to right to Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in
Yeah.
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers.
They might have been doing the filming really close to one another.
Seeing Lenny James, Morgan from The Walking Dead in it, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this is
Oh, right.
Yeah, Lenny James really invaded American TV.
yeah, he's great."
Calling for the.
He was good in Jericho too. I like that show.
That's I think it's Jericho. I love that. You know what I love about Jericho? Schomburg's on the map.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
was this in Germany or something like that?
No, it was
Jericho was a TV
It was a
show.
2-season
We can-
show on CBS
we
where like
can-
there was like a
Are you talking
bomb
about
or
like
something.
Schaumburg, like Illinois?
There's a stupid little scene where they put a map and he's
Yeah.
putting pins on for all the
Oh,
cities
no
that got
kidding.
blown
Our
up.
names there. Get out of here.
And Schaumburg's
That's
on
pretty-
it,
We
yeah.
grew up in Schaumburg,
Yeah.
all of us. So
Shompton.
But my one hang up I have is after the hallway scene, Tommy, Bulltooth Tony, sorry, I keep saying Tommy, Bulltooth Tony walks outside and those two guys are just sitting in the car, like having a conversation. Some people were just shot and killed essentially, or, there's a huge gunfight and you guys are having a quick chat in a car. Like that's one thing that I just logically couldn't understand. But like outside of maybe that scene, I was fine with it. I really liked how everything kind of came together.
I was gonna say the resolution as I feel like Aaron, what we got time wise right now?
As much as you want.
No, but like for real, like what? I don't even know how long we've been talking for.
Like maybe 40 minutes.
40? Okay.
Yeah, you still got
We're
time.
about
No, I figured I was going to bring up a couple other things about the
Yeah.
movie, maybe toss around something else, and then
Yeah, there we go.
I was also gonna say they showed him in the trailer a picture of his mom. They're like his ma or whatever. But didn't Tommy already meet her in the other scene? So like they looked at that picture. They were like, I don't know, like a look like they'd never seen.
No,
her.
it starts in the caravan.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
They've met.
They met her when they bought the original Caravan and it broke down.
You're right. There was some
yeah.
inconsistency in that.
Right.
And then
but-
Yes.
Jason Statham didn't, but Tommy did. He went with the boxer guy to get the Caravan.
Right. No.
Then
I-
it broke, and then they like his mom, like, what is he talking about? And then they showed the pictures, and they got like a.
Well, I think it's a language.
It
thing
might have
as
been.
well,
It might
though.
have been the deciphering the language.
All right,
Yeah.
that could be
Yeah,
it.
confused and then.
You
No,
know-
you're right
oh.
though. There could be that logic gap or inconsistency.
It wasn't
Okay.
a big thing. I just
Yeah,
thought-
no, I mean, you know what? That's honestly, that is actually what I would say. I'm going to ask for you guys' ratings in a little bit here, but that is definitely something that I think goes into it. Is like if you have massive problems with a movie and you have to like nitpick every single thing, like, oh, why are they doing this? What are they? It's probably not a great movie, or at least you don't like it.
No, it's not like you can pick this in any movie. It's more of kind of just like a fun thing. Like I think, like, oh, like what wouldn't you do this, or like why didn't you do that? But obviously, it's a movie, so conflict and things need to happen for it to.
I mean,
you know,
I would go on the other side of that too. That to me, that almost makes a movie a little bit more personable because you're sitting there like, well, why didn't he do this choice? You're like connecting to it more. It's like, well, I would have done this, versus in a movie, it's kind of on a rail. All the choices are very clear. You got to do this, you got to do that, got to do this. Before we start wrapping up, though, I do want to put one of my other favorite quotes in there is Bricktop.
Okay.
He gets offered Turkish offers him a tea, and he's like, sugar? He goes, no, I'm sweet enough.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
What the real slow gangster?
What did you guys think of Jason Statham trying to do like a gangster accent at one point? It was like he's trying to do like a guy
he
from the
did,
hood or something.
yeah, he did the hip
Oh
hop
yeah,
thing.
that was a little.
I was like,
off
where did that
character,
come
man.
from?
Yeah,
That was so random.
they didn't need that. You're right.
I
No,
mean,
it was funny.
I could take it or leave
I never
it.
heard him do another.
Take it.
I never heard Jason Statham try to do an accent.
I
so.
mean, you never really think of
li-
him in comedy either.
No, I liked it. It was
Yeah.
very interesting. Like always, he has his Jason Statham voice. I never hear him do like just anything else. It was
Yeah.
kind of cool to.
Yeah, it's definitely a not his normal, what you would call like a normal Jason Statham. Where I also have kind of an issue with Jason Statham always is like kicking people in the throat like randomly, like in his Beekeeper movie that's coming out or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He just is like just going up and kicking people right
What's
in
your
the
guys'
throat.
favorite Jason Statham role or movie?
Transporter. Jinx.
Crank or Expendables.
Oh, Crank is great.
I like
Can't
Crank.
change. Can't change.
I like Crank, but Transporter, it's such a sleek movie.
Dude, it's the fucking
I really enjoy him in The Italian Job.
Oh, nice.
And when
ad.
Seth Green does his impression of him, is my favorite.
Yeah.
part.
fucking
yeah.
clowning him, yeah.
I'm gonna need your shirt. You're not too bright. Right.
That was great. That was
Perfect.
a great fucking
Italian,
run.
Italian Job is one of those great heist movies, though, and we definitely talked about heisting stuff, the heisting movies before, but like the jewelry robbery, just always they have to be more elaborate because obviously they're behind more stuff. This one had basically no security though. Like
No, that's not true. I think there's
did you
multiple
see,
layers.
Hold on, did you see when he walked in? The wand goes off on his like belly area,
Yeah.
and he just goes, "What? You want me to take my pants off?" And they just let him go through. Like that's how.
I was like, was it supposed to be that they were supposed to have known these guys, or was it just because they're rabbis?
Right, no,
that
but
they're-
think about this.
They weren't.
There was an
they weren't
expected
rabbis.
meeting.
They were Hasidic Jews.
Okay, what? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
There was an expected meetup, though. They
they
had to
were
get through
rabbis.
a,
No.
a scan
Hasidic
and a
Jews.
gate and go to an elevator.
I don't know why
that's
you're
only-
telling me.
No,
Tell the
I know. I'm
audience.
just saying they had to go through a scan, like a metal detector scan, a gate into an elevator that only was accessed once you get into like the archives of the building to up to another. Like so, everything had to be so. To say it's not secure would be, I think, a fallacy.
I thought it was implied. Correct me if I'm wrong. That the guy patting him down
he failed his
knew
job.
him, or he was pretending,
maybe he was in
He
on
was
it.
pretending to be someone he knew. Was
They
that?
knew the head guy when they got onto the same floor as him. He goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he just takes
Right.
out the guns. They go nuts.
I believe it was more of a play on that there are particular types of people in
Just like you
the
don't
world of
suspect
security
him or
that you kind of like, okay, well, if this thing's going off, it's probably just a belt.
Yeah, it's whatever. You don't expect a guy
Like, you let
dressed
people
like that
through
to
because
be
of-
carrying a weapon.
You would
Yes.
think like that kind of place, you're going to be taking all the precautions.
Well, I
Well-
mean, I guess just
No, but like I said, with an expected, and they were late, so maybe they're like, we got to hurry him up to.
I took it as he was pretending to be someone that the guy knew, and he was like, "Oh,
I
just
think
let him
I think
through."
that I think that certainly was an element of it, but I took it more of like if you had an Amish guy trying to go into a bank
Yeah.
and there was a metal detector and they went, it's an Amish guy. There's no way he's holding 6 guns in his belly.
Yeah. and
That's the way I took it.
That was
tactically
a really cool
taped
vest.
to like
yeah.
what to a
Yeah.
Kevlar vest. Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't expect that to be pulled off. But the the ending of the movie though, like you do want to like. I do love the full circleness of it, and again, we're
And then
gonna
cousin Avi at
That-
the end.
but
That
we're gonna kind of
fucking dog.
ruin obviously the thing,
yeah,
the ending here.
spoiler there.
Spoiler: 24 years old. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But
it can
dude,
drink.
I mean, I do love though, like again, like he's still going. I mean, that diamond is worth what? Something. It's 86 carats or something like that.
Yeah, it is. It is a mountain of
So
money.
what is that? Like hundreds of millions of dollars? Is that?
I don't know. Someone who's a jeweler friend who's watching this, you let
I mean,
us know what. 86
okay, let's
carats
say that
goes
it's that much money. I mean, I'm doing all the shit that Avi is doing to get that diamond. I'm going to
yeah.
London. I'm witnessing murders.
Yeah, he was a
Setting
full
him up.
participant in every step of the way, which I absolutely loved. It was like water on a duck. The guy got murdered. He's like, all right, throw him off the side. Let's go. Like committed.
The other weird thing for me in that movie, not to get super nitpicky, but it's like so many people are okay doing other people's work for a huge payoff. Like Avi's getting
Like
this
cut
diamond.
open the dog. That whole
well,
scene.
I mean, there's that part, but like Avi's getting the diamond. He hires Frankie Four Fingers,
40 grand.
who goes in with a other group of people, and at one point he asks him to give him the gun, and he hesitates for a moment when they're in the van before they
Right.
go, and he's like, "Give me the gun." He gives him the gun. They don't just rip him off there.
Takes all the bullets out.
But they don't just rip him off there. He calls his cousin
Right,
Boris
he gives him
to
the
rip him
drop.
off over there and sets him up for it.
Right.
It's just so weird, like all these different people doing people's different dirty work, which I think is one of the overarching themes of the movie. Is that you have a lot of people who,
A lot of
even in the
greedy
crime
motherfuckers.
world, you still have middle management and the lower tier of like going and doing the shit work. So
Well, I also kind of see like with the guys that were trying to do the lower level stuff, like Boris the Blade goes to the group of what do they run? They run a jewelry shop there themselves. Saul, Vinny, and Tyrone.
Yeah, it's more of like a pawn
And-
jewelry shop.
yeah, and so
Pawn
like
pawn shop.
pawn shop. So like you're hiring these guys for he says 50 grand to them, gives them 10, shoots Frankie Four Fingers in the head. So like
Yep.
I think that like you do see a little bit of it, but I think what you're saying is like it should be more defined of like
no,
this
Nobody
guy's
mentions a hierarchy, but you give me a lowly gangster who knows how to move something like that. No, you need some executive level type of people
I
to
don't,
move
I don't
things.
disagree, but it's that same thing. Like you work for a company that makes billions of dollars, and you're getting pennies on the dollar of what you're making.
Well, what's your role in it? What's your
Well,
stake?
exactly. I mean, and it's just that similarity that even in the crime world, the same stuff is happening.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is seeing the American version of that movie being made. You got Rick from Pawn Stars being hired.
I wouldn't want to watch that. No,
No, I
it would
I
depend.
just-
I mean, you could never get the cast at these guys like
God.
careers. Like, there's
No.
so many people in it that like
No.
2 years later they blew up and they're
I loved
huge
it. Loved it.
So
Yep.
what's the I mean, like again,
Rate-
what do
are
you
we
guys
getting
think of
rating?
like the closing of that movie though, where again Avi gets the diamond in the end after going through all this like shit? Like, I mean, like, do you have like I kind of just like how movies.
I think it
like,
was a giant laugh. The dog at the end of those guys getting arrested, and those you got Tommy and Turkish ending up kind of not right where they started off, but
Well, they get money from that diamond. They're not going to make $1 billion, but they're going to make
get a big cut.
good amount. Yeah.
Right.
So like resolution is like
I
hey,
loved
Avi gets
how it
his
all came full
thing.
circle.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the dog being the major, I guess, X factor behind it. The dog that goes to the gypsy camp. I mean,
I feel like at the end, the big winner from that is
Avi. Come on.
no.
He's
I think
not prosecuted for any of the crimes, and he ends up getting the same.
but he
end result.
took such a loss. He lost associates. He lost the
Rosebud.
people he trusted. He lost the stuff with his family. I feel like the gypsies, just in general, kind of walk away with that from the most. They
fair
clean
point.
up. They
That's a big
clean
win.
up.
Oh, Brad Pitt's mom got burned alive. Though.
Yeah, see,
I mean,
warranted.
yes, but
Great scene.
but
where
they
they-
that
got
was
they
my
got
most,
even and then some.
That was my favorite cinematic shot of the movie, the burning trailer.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Brad Pitt
yeah.
looking on in his anguish.
Yeah.
Anguish, good, great.
But like
word.
how it's weird because Tommy mentioned he's like he wasn't really upset when I brought it up. So I'm like right out of the gate when he was like, oh yeah, and I was like something's in the works.
Well,
here.
the other part that I think
No
just
one's
they,
that calm.
they do it. He Guy Ritchie does it very well of like having. I mean, Brad Pitt's a great actor, but like showing it of like him leading up to that second fight of like obviously again as you said like using the anguish to okay, well now I'm going to drink myself into oblivion. They do like a big party or whatever.
Right.
And then from there, it gives that setup of like, oh yeah, I mean, in the way that the boxing like
Element, yeah.
the injuries that they had, I'm like, I don't know if Brad Pitt is walking after getting one of those
his whole first fight with Gorgeous George, and he's like, oh, he's a big fucker. And then he gets punched and knocked down, and they pick him up with the gate and push him back up. And
Yeah.
like, thank you, boys.
That was awesome.
And then he just
That
goes
was
and
kind of
one
trippy
punches
when
him
he
down.
was in that water scene where he gets that.
I mean, dude, that's
Yeah.
in terms of cinematics. That's what kind of reminded me of it. Is like it just looks so great. I mean,
It kind of reminded me too of the fighting stuff, like of a Fight Club again.
That's why I
Yeah,
asked. I was
yeah.
like, it had to be right
the
around
previous
the same
year
time.
that had just come out or whatever.
Because he's yoked, man. He's tuned up.
I mean, you also see it in Sherlock Holmes, similar type of like round 360 kind of.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Brad Pitt was in Sherlock
Well, I was
Holmes.
gonna say,
No,
do you
the
think-
fighting style.
I mean, I
Like
don't know when
pic-
they. I mean,
shooting it.
I don't know if he would have like. You think Guy Ritchie maybe like saw him in Fight Club and was like, "Hey, this guy's good for
Well,
a movie," or like.
A lot of it, I mean, Jason, a lot of that camera technique you're talking about kind of came from The Matrix with the way they did all their shit with doing the round robin 360 thing. Now a lot of it's filled in with the graphics and such. But the big thing from Sherlock Holmes, you're talking about the Robert Downey Jr. one?
Yes.
That was all the slow motion photography with phantom cameras. Sorry, Ryan, back to your point. Oh, shit. I
He
feel so
forgot
bad.
it.
I feel
I
so
don't remember.
bad.
No, it's cool.
were talking about
No,
the
I remember. No,
the
I was just gonna say,
cinematography.
do you think that Guy Ritchie had maybe seen an early cut of Fight Club or something and was like, "Yo, this guy would be great for my boxing."
So kind of like really,
like, because he's still in the same shape he is in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, at the same time. Heck, it's probably just coincidence. I just thought it was
mean,
interesting that there was like
maybe-
two similar things back to back years, same
Maybe
guy.
I think your more likely thing is that Brad Pitt might have brought the idea from Fight Club,
Yeah.
rather than Guy Ritchie getting into
okay.
the other, because
Different way
I
to
think
think
at the
about
time when they're filming it, Fight Club probably still wouldn't have been released,
Yeah.
and it might not even been done with post production stuff. So it's pretty
I also
unlikely you would have seen early clips.
Yeah, I also think interesting bringing Brad Pitt in that movie as not the lead, as the character actor, as
I
like
mean, that's
one of the guys. It's a great
Would
thing
you
for
consider
the movie.
there to be a lead in this film?
I think Jason Statham is
Jason
the
Statham,
lead.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you think about on airtime, okay, yes, I'd maybe put him there. But there was a lot of people that
Him and
not Avi, but,
Stephen Graham are in the movie.
That-
Bricktop was on air a lot, or on the screen a lot.
To me, that's more of a British storytelling thing. Is it's not so egocentric.
Maybe that's it.
It's an
Maybe that's
ensemble movie.
Yeah.
Ensemble movie for sure.
To bring a couple things back, I was talking about a movie earlier. I couldn't remember the name of it. It was Gangster #1. Also came out in 2000 with Malcolm McDowell
Okay.
Oh, hell
and
yeah. Malcolm McDowell's great.
Bethany.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, yeah. And that movie, similar time, kind of same storytelling, same music drive. This one does a little flashback thing with Malcolm McDowell being the older gangster, Paul Bettany being the younger version of himself. But it just kind of, there's a very similar style that's happening at that time, and maybe that's part of the alignment too, because we see that now in films as well. We've seen in every era, they kind of follow an accepted format until somebody goes and recreates everything. If we're coming to a close, I do have one other thing I want to bring up that just kind of happened in Chicago this past week, but
All right, do
let me
it up.
know. Let me know when.
No, let's do it. And then
Don't we gotta give our
we'll give our final ratings as the last kind of little
Oh,
bit.
so good. An unsolicited commercial. I just saw a whole bunch of stuff of this thing that opened up in Oprah called Wonderverse.
Okay.
If you guys have heard of it, it's like a restaurant thing, but it's themed to movies. So they've created attractions based upon movies, and they're like VR elements, a racing game type of thing. And the movies that they picked are Ghostbusters,
Nice.
Jumanji,
Dope.
Which Jumanji?
the
Robin
old-
Williams?
I believe the old one.
Okay.
There is no other Jumanji.
Zombieland, and there's like two others. But they themed the whole restaurant and the bar to it, along with these video games and stuff. So like they have like a
Okay, so
a
really
speakeasy type of thing.
really inclusive,
Yeah.
type of environment. I get that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of cool. It's all Sony Pictures. That's the tie-in thing. It's all Sony, but it's called Wonderverse, and they just opened up.
Do you have to wear a VR headset when you get in there, or is that like part of the is that
no,
part of the
it's-
experience, or no? Is that
No.
optional?
Like you go eat. You get a table.
Okay.
You eat, and then you can go play games. It's kind of like the Dave and
Okay,
Buster's
all right,
thought
all right,
process, but
in
a little bit more
different
high
feel.
tech.
All right.
That's cool. I'm sure it's
So
expensive. As
I don't know.
shit, but
I
it
want
sounds
to go.
cool.
It's not. It's not. I mean, I would have thought it would be way more expensive. But
maybe
anyway,
check it out.
somebody go check
Check it out.
Yep.
Let
All
us
right.
know.
Back to the
Comments.
conclusions.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll just throw out a numbering 1 to 10 of like what would you rate it, and then also what was the 3 things, Ryan? Would you
Own it,
rent
rent it,
own it, gotta have it, or
Own
whatever?
it, stream it,
Own it, stream it,
or
or-
skip it.
Okay.
No, or
Can
I
I-
think rent it.
Can I ask the distinction between own it and stream it? Are you talking
Like
about
own it,
it's
like
on
I
a
want to
rental
have
own
it.
an actual,
I
like,
want it.
copy
I like
of
it
it.
that much where I
Okay.
need to have a copy.
So I like
of
it. Own it.
I guess
Stream
I'm-
it.
Stream it's like I liked it, but I don't need to.
You're waiting for it to be on a rental service.
Like I don't have to watch it all the time. If it's on,
or
it's
just
on.
Okay.
I'm done with it.
Like you enjoyed it, but you it wasn't like a favorite. Like you need
You're,
to have
you're
it.
waiting for the next time it's on Max.
Sure, if it's on
Okay.
TV, you would watch it. If you're flipping
Yeah, gotcha,
channels,
gotcha.
maybe.
Okay.
I just say in the world of digital copies, you're
It's
technically
not. It's not
streaming
a.
it.
It's not a go-to for you. Like you need to
Okay,
have.
okay,
It.
okay.
Well, it's definitely that is also just the
how
way
I
of the
think of it.
times
Okay,
when
got it.
like for me, like when you had like the physical copy of the DVD,
Right.
you were like, I can watch this anytime.
That's
anywhere.
aging ourselves.
It is, but I'm just saying, I get the mindset of like streaming it is just like a whenever.
Yeah, it's like oh shit, it's on Netflix. That's
Cool.
cool.
So
but-
more of a convenience watch. Got
So I will start with it. I'm gonna go with a 9.9.
Whoa.
it. Wow. Okay.
Setting the bar.
Generous. Very generous.
It is it's without a doubt one of my favorite movies.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Bobby,
And
you
so
can-
yours
and-
would be own it.
and
I'm
with
assuming?
physical copy,
Own it.
Do you own it?
He does
I
own it.
did until it broke.
Oh.
How did it break?
The way in which the DVD is really
Popped
nerding
up.
out. The DVD manufacturing of it made the circular part that holds the DVD in too tight on
Yeah.
some of the earlier
And it
2000s
cracked
ones.
it.
So
Yeah.
when you push it, sometimes it catches the inner circle part
crunched
of
it.
the
Oh,
DVD.
you're
Yeah.
talking about the container.
The case.
The
case
container,
itself.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
it cracked the inner side of it. I put it on. It's just all
would
fucked.
not
I go.
read.
I literally had that happen today. That was
Well, do you want to own
Really?
it? But you should stream it because you broke it, so you have to stream it.
well. I watched it. I literally paid money for it to watch it because.
So you own it now?
No, I rented it
Son
from
of a-
because it's on Jeremy and Carrie's Amazon. So I had to pay Jeremy $5 to watch it today. But
Hey, man, should have went to Voodoo. It was $4.
it was $3.99.
You could have owned it on Voodoo.
I will be owning it at some point. That is a DVD I will be purchasing to replace it. So what do you got, Ryan?
For me, if I'm giving it, I'll start. If I give it like a letter grade, I give it like a B.
No, get it in numbers. We do
Numbers.
here.
If it's an IMDb score, let me get
1
like
to 10, man. 0 to 10.
7.6.
Okay.
Okay, and you're saying what?
What's
Stream
it-
it.
I
don't
would, for
wanna watch
me,
it
I
anymore.
would stream it. I don't need to own it, but if it's on a TV, if it's streaming, I'd watch it.
Okay. Barbarino.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the whole cast, I give it an 8.8. And this is something that I actually probably would own because it has like the same feel. I think it was Guy Ritchie too, that Lock, Stock, and
Two Smoking Barrels.
Two Smoking Barrels. I really enjoyed that fast pace of it. I would own it. I rented in this situation from the library. They had it, which was
Nice.
incredible. And really fun film. Really fun film. Go check it out.
Aaron, what you got?
I'm going to give it a 9, and here's the reason why. I love this movie. It's super quotable. However, it is a movie that it takes a while to watch. You really do need to sit down and enjoy it. Really follow it if you're trying to watch it for watching it. It's not something you just put on the background. It's not something you can, you need to take
gotta
time
be paying
to watch
attention.
it.
Agreed.
Right. Because if you jump in the middle of it, you're like, what is going on?
I was gonna say, I think it's a movie too that I would get better on rewatch because I know
Yes.
more of what's happening and more of the
Yes.
characters.
Yes.
So I think next time I watch it, my grade might improve.
So fun fact, do you know what the actual IMDb score is?
I'm gonna guess 7.3,
Incorrect.
4.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a guess?
6.4.
9.1.
Bobby was close. It was 8.2.
Oh, nice.
8.2. Well, actually, I'd say technically, Ryan, you were the closest without going over.
We're doing Price is Right.
Price is
rules.
Right is always.
But
the
since you scored it so low, it goes to
7.6.
Bobby.
I think
You got
those.
it,
I don't give Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb. I don't really give them too much merit for what I see off of.
I absolutely agree with you. I'm not. They're
Yeah.
not influencing my
What is it?
decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Haters gonna hate.
Hate.
I enjoyed the movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's a good score, but whatever. It's each to your own. So whatever you got. What do you got, Aaron?
I just to say this brings into mind. We're talking about a bunch of other movies that are kind of the same style.
We got to wrap this up though, kid.
Why?
What are we going to be like an hour and a half going through movie dialogue?
Bobby,
I know we're at an hour. We got to be.
Oh, yeah, just at an hour.
Dude, we're about to wrap it up.
I know, but he's like, all right, well, let's discuss a little
we
bit
could
more
talk
about
about
the
movies
technique that they
and-
brought in. I got a 30-minute dialogue that I'd like to,
Okay.
Sorry, I'm blasting
Dude,
a little shit.
it's all good, man.
But
Bobby,
we've been
get
trying
ready.
to wrap it up for like 10 minutes.
Says who? Bobby, we're going to do a supercut of all the times
my
you
God.
fucked us now. All right. Layer Cake is a movie that I mentioned earlier, and one of the fun things in that movie is the end quote of it is like, if you're so smart, what's my name? So if you ever end up watching that movie, the whole goal is to figure out what the main character's name is because they don't mention it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Check out
Yeah,
Daniel Craig.
it's been on my list. Daniel Craig. I
Daniel
know.
Craig. So
Okay. That's a good recommendation, but I will throw it over to
and another thing.
Shut the fuck. So
Yeah, no, I
sit
got
down and shut up, you bald fuck. So, Ryan, did you have an opportunity over the last hour to devise it's back to your pick for a movie
dude,
review?
I want to think about
He's
it.
going to
We're
think
gonna
about it.
on
So
All right.
It's Layer
that's going to
Cake
be a
now.
teaser for
I
the
don't want to
next
make a
one.
rush decision.
But yeah, so I mean, the next couple weeks though, we'll tune into some playoffs. We'll be, posting this stuff periodically. Though I am gonna again get something together at the end of the year for like how did we do throughout the year on picks. I don't think we did very well, but
I'm nervous about that.
I'll give it over to Aaron or Bobby or Ryan if you gotta take.
Aaron
her out
hates
or-
me, so you want to.
No, Bobby can take it out now.
All right. Well, thank you for our extended closing segment that just lasted way too long. We're the Journeymen, and we expect you to continue with us on this journey.
Okay. See you next time.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you both.